Okay guys, how's it going out there? Rooster and 10, roostercb.com. Just a little radio availability video. I like to do this when we get, kind of a batch, I guess you would say, of radios available that haven't been in stock for a while, or maybe some that have never been in stock. Some people have been asking about, and some of the more popular ones. So this is by no means everything that is available right now. There's a ton on the website. I do try to keep a pretty hefty inventory. I know sometimes it feels like everything is sold out, and that's just if we get some unexpected spikes in business and everything gets cleared out kind of fast. So we do keep a lot of inventory though. I try to keep a floating inventory of anywhere from 50 to 75 radios, but it's not always the case. Sometimes we sell out on 955s, and sometimes we have 5 or 6 955s ready. Just kind of the way it goes there. So these will be marked in stock on the website, roostercb.com, and at minimum, everything in front of you here has a performance tune, and some of these have the all the way or full upgrades. Now the full upgrades don't really apply to, they're not really necessary. You don't really benefit by doing any kind of additional mods, and some like the Superstar 676 or the 955 they do actually benefit considerably from the full upgrades, or as I like to call it, the all the way mod. But with that said, let's talk about each radio a little bit. We'll try to keep it relatively brief and just kind of hit the high notes on each radio. Talk about maybe amp suggestions, amp recommendations, because that's one question I do get a lot. So let's jump into it here. Probably my favorite or second favorite radio from President, the McKinley, with the Washington being the other one that I like a lot. But I really like the McKinley for its simplicity. They sound good on the air. After being performance tuned, they do good power. 20, 25 watts PEP, 7 watts to 10 watts average power. Dead key will roll from half a watt up to 3 or 4 watts. And they do really good on sideband. Just a phenomenal radio, especially for the cost that they are. They're the kind of budget compact radio from President, but they do have AM and sideband, and they do an excellent job. I really like pairing these up with the RM Italy's, the 703, 503 HD, 505, 203, 203P. Doesn't really matter. It's going to do a good job with any of those. If you're looking for a super compact setup, you might pair it up with a compact Fat Boy 2-pill 454 or the RM Italy 203 or 203P if you want the preamp. But those really pair up nicely with the President McKinley here. And what I typically do is, if these don't sell out pretty quick, if I have them sitting around for a couple of weeks, I will pair them up with a RM Italy 203, and people really seem to jump on that when I do that. They like that combination and like being able to save some money by buying both. So if you guys hold out on me for a while and you don't buy them, I'll probably do a little sale and match this up with some 203s and give you guys some good deals on that. That way you get the amp and the radio for a good price there. So moving on. We've got the RCI-99N4. If I can slide her out here. And this is basically the level 2 radio of the 99N series. You guys can see the controls on the front. I've done videos on them before, but essentially everything you want on a export radio, a freak counter, echo, talkback, high power radio, does around 275 to 300 PEP, typically about 100 to 150 average, and you're going to want to run a decent sized amp with this radio. You can turn the amp switch off. You can make the radio just run by itself, but kind of defeats the purpose. Most people buy this and spend the money on it for the high power capability. So here's my recommendations. At minimum, I'm going to give you 4 different choices here. 2 of them are going to be what I recommend at the bare minimum to run with it, and then 2 of them are going to be if you want some headroom. If you want to run this thing to the bare minimum, the amplifier is going to be getting maxed out. You're going to be driving the amp to its max potential. An 8-pill 2879 standard or a 6-pill 2879C. Those, you're going to be maxing those out with this radio. If you want some amp choices that give you a little bit of headroom, I would step it up and go to a 10-pill 2879 standard, 10 transistor 2879 standard, if you will. People get bent out of shape when you call the transistors pills there, but that's just slang for transistor. or a 8-pill 2879C. Those are your choices to give you some headroom. Either one of those will give you a good bit of headroom when operating this radio and that amp. You won't be killing your amplifier. Next is the 99N4, and we'll pull it out here. This is obviously the newest version, the VFO version. You can see there it says 99N4 VFO. I've demonstrated one of these in the past. Essentially, you can push the channel selector in, it becomes like a VFO dial. So these are really popular as well. This is, I guess you would say, the level 3 or the final of the 99N series. This is the N4, and these typically do between 500 and 550 watts PEP. Sometimes they do a little bit less, sometimes a little more, but that's about what they do. Same features as the 99N2. No need to go back and beat the dead horse on that. You've got the exact same features, except this is a higher power version. Now again, give you guys a couple of options on what I would personally recommend running with this if it was mine, okay? If I was going to pick out an amplifier for myself and I wasn't sitting here trying to penny pinch or anything else, these are what I would run with it. My number one choice would be a 16-pill 2879 standard. You're not going to necessarily max it out, but you're going to drive it very well. 6-pill 2879 standard really only needs, 550 to 600 watts, which is basically what this radio does. So it'll drive a 16 really well. You can also use a 12 2879C. Some people will probably run a 12-pill standard, but those are the only really two choices I would recommend. I'd either go 12-pill 2879C or 16 2879 standard, and that is for the 99N4. Again, 500, 600 watt radio. You want to get an amp that can take it, or you'll be toasting your amplifier. Alrighty, so we've done videos on these before. I don't know if I've done one fully upgraded all the way, but Superstar 676, basically the same thing as a 447, the big difference being the little meter down here. People go crazy for the way that meter looks. But this one is fully upgraded. You can see I put ATW on it. That stands for all the way. Final upgrade, regulator upgrade, and the average power / modulation mod. You're going to want to run a 6-pill 2879 standard with this radio, or a 4-pill 2879C. Those are your only two options. Anything less, you're going to be overdriving it, okay? These things can do, roughly 150 watts or so PEP, 50 to 60 watts average. After they've been fully upgraded, and they do a phenomenal job. One of my favorite radios out there, this or the 447. Can't go wrong with either one. If you like the little meter better, then by all means, the Superstar is your choice. But I personally like the 447 just as well. Both excellent radios, and they're compact too. They don't take up a lot of room. Echo, talkback, all that good stuff that your Strykers have in a compact frame. Now this is probably one of the most popular radios out there right now. One that I can hardly keep in stock. As soon as I mark them available, they typically sell out pretty quickly, and that's the 955 HPC Plus. The new 955, the shorter frame, the radio is shorter from front to back, has the voltage boost board in it. And this is also fully upgraded. This one has the final upgrade, regulator upgrade, and the average power / modulation mod. So it's had everything done to it that we offer, fully upgraded. Typically they'll do, 150 watts or so PEP, and average power wise, they will flat out get with it. Have seen these audio up to almost 100 watts average, and talk 60 to 70. So if you're looking for some big bird watts out of something, these are your ticket. Now, what do I recommend running with these? At minimum, I would say a 6-pill 2879 standard. If you want a little bit of headroom, you could go ahead and step up to a 6-pill 2879C. But a 6-pill 2879 standard or a 4-pill 2879C will be okay to run with one of these. They're going to drive them pretty well. But those are my recommendations as far as the amplifier goes for the 955 HPC Plus. Now these last two on the end, guys are probably wondering what the heck these are, and I'll just pull them around here and show you. I need to do a video on these because I think they'll be pretty popular. And this is a Radioddity, or as some of you guys know, Anytone, same basic thing. You're wondering why this one has a hole cut in the front and it has a fan on it. This one is going to have the AD203 amp kit on it, and this one is not. Both of them will be set up performance tuned with variable power. Again, this one will just have the AD203, this one won't. And these radios are pretty sweet. They're kind of menu, they're not necessarily menu driven, but they do have like a little secret menu in it where you can enable them to have extra channels and enable them to have echo from the factory. So they'll have, I think, one band. I think it's one band above 40 and one band below. Don't necessarily quote me on that, but I know they do have extra channels. Excuse me. And they do have echo too. So, and they sound really good. I need to do a video on these because they've been sitting here for a while. Just haven't had really time to get around to them. But what they sound like is they remind me of kind of like a Quad 5 is what they sound like. And without the amp kit, I think it's like a 30 watt radio, 30 watt PEP. So something like a Cobra 29 is what they perform like. And they've got a cool little meter on the front. They have a signal meter, like a traditional signal meter, but it's digital. It looks like a traditional signal meter, except it's actually like a digital, a little picture or whatever. So pretty cool radios here. The Radioddity CB-900. Again, they're basically an Anytone. Let's see what they look like coming out of the box here. Take one out here and show it to you guys so you guys kind of have an idea what they look like. But that's what they look like. Black knobs, black case, short, small, kind of compact. Same basic size as like a Unit N78, 4-pin radio. Just really cool. But I will do an in-depth video on these and show them off a little bit because I think some people find them kind of interesting and kind of unique. I'll try to do like an on-the-air test as well so you guys can hear what they sound like. But that's it, guys. Again, there's lots of other radios in stock. I mean, I could sit here and try to name them off. I think I've got some 2995s out there, performance tune that are ready to go. President Washington, TRE top ones, fully upgraded Quad 5 N2s, fully upgraded Quad 5 Pluses. I think there's a performance tuned 447 or two. Should have some 655s and 955s and 497s coming up soon. Trying to think what else. In the near future, we'll have a couple more Longhorns ready for those that thought the Longhorns were going to be no more. I've got a couple of those that'll be ready in the near future. We'll have some Unidens ready soon, some Cobra 29 Chromes ready soon, some Cobra 29 LXs ready soon. So a lot of stuff coming up available soon. But there's a lot of stuff in stock right now. So Mirages, there's some Rangers on the website. There's just a little bit of everything. So there you go, guys. I appreciate it. And thanks for the business and thanks for the support of the channel here. And thanks for the support of the website. Very fortunate to be able to do this. And I appreciate it from everybody out there. Again, Rooster in 10, roostercb.com. If you enjoy this type of video, let me know about it. If you hated it, also let me know about it. You got any guys got any questions, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535, Rooster in Tennessee, roostercb.com. See you, bye.